I'm Paul Butler. I'm one of the client partners at New Leaf Training and Development, and I'm so delighted today to be joined by Rafael Rivera. He's the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of PIHRA. You may not have heard of PIHRA if you're outside of California, but it's the Professionals in Human Resources Association. And I'm absolutely delighted to say we're only members of 3 professional organizations, and PIHRA are one of them. I'd highly recommend them. Hey, Rafael, the purpose of these Take Fives, and they've become immensely popular, is to give people some practical help, provide some hope, and even sprinkle a little bit of humor if appropriate. So I've just got one question for you, which I'd love you to run with for about 4 or 5 minutes, because we do call them Take Five for a reason. So here's the question. What would you say that you're learning personally, professionally, and even as an organization during these rather unique days? And while you're at it, could you tell us a little bit more about your work at PIHRA, what you guys do and who you serve? So over to you, Rafael, and I'll wrap it up when you're done.
Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me here today to share a little bit about what we do and hopefully some tips that your clients can take away. As you mentioned, I am the CEO at PIHRA. I've been with PIHRA for about a decade, and we're an affiliate for the Society for Human Resource Management. Our association serves a community of roughly 5,000 HR professionals, but compounded, the impact of the organization is roughly 2 million employees and their families. So we provide training and networking to human resource professionals and even business owners that take on that responsibility of HR for their companies. Well, as an organization, I can say for the past, what has it been, 8 months, 9 months that we've been working from home, I have been learning how to become a proficient broadcaster. So one of the necessities, not only as a, in my case, the head employee of our organization, and sort of like the business owner, hat that I'm wearing, I need to be able to connect with our internal and external stakeholders. And like we're doing, it needs to be online. So, one was, how do I set up that studio at home? To then, how do I, bring this knowledge and expand it with my teams and within the organization so that we can maintain that connection that we've lost from not being able to see each other every few weeks or every other month in person at a continuing education program or at a social event, which is really the lifeblood of the organization. 90% of what we do is typically in person. So, with that in mind, it has been a challenge to learn and learn every week to keep up with all these regulations and changes. So I guess tip number 1, when you're looking for a product, whether nowadays is a technology solution or in the future is a product or service, talk to as many service providers as possible, because every conversation has led to learning something new. Someone has a capability, and then I hear about a different capability from another provider, and that helps my process to then figure out what is possible. What if we could bring that one benefit from provider A and marry it to provider B? Is there a provider C company out there that can bring the two together? Because then that would be a fantastic offering for our members or our community in general. So as an organization, I can say, sometimes we failed even after like a lot of planning, and we have to take that in stride to say, like, after weeks or months of planning one particular activity, you mean we forgot to add one button, or we send the wrong link? How can that happen? But we're learning, and part of that learning and learning quick is making this mistakes, learn from those mistakes, overcome, and do things differently. I think our audiences are a little more forgiving nowadays as we all become more accustomed to the online environment. But yeah, it's just making the little mistakes and then just moving forward to learn from those little mistakes. So You know, Paul, I hope somebody can take away from the learning and the, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. And by the way, you know, you cannot work 24 hours a day. So please, you know, take a break. If you're a business owner, if you're an executive, you do need to set some time aside. So, you know, maybe that's 3 takeaways. I hope I've helped you and I helped your audience today.
Well, Rafael, on behalf of everyone who watches these, thanks again for your insights. And I just love the pragmatism of how you really summarize that. And thanks again for the great work that you do over at PIHRA. As I mentioned, we're very, very grateful members of PIHRA, and I've massively been impressed with the way you guys as an organization have navigated through these times. So could I offer you a virtual high five?
There we go.
Thanks ever so much, Rafael. I really wish you a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Paul.